Well, I finally got this cabinet together. This thing has been the biggest pain ever. See, it has to cut all the parts to the right size everywhere. And the computer program glitched somehow. So the top part right up here, moved that up too high and then it didn't fit. So I had to move it back down. And these things all, anyway, it was a giant mess. I made the parts over and then I had to make them over again and then I had to make them over again. And we finally got it together. But that was my whole goal for the day, put together cabinet number 12. Whatever else happened, I put together cabinet number 12. That's done. Everything's perfect except for these skins that go on here and here. I don't quite have enough room here, so I'm going to solve that by sanding them down, making them a little thinner. On the back side, so the face will be all nice and pretty. We're going to get that done and put them on. This cabinet will be finished, finally. That one, two more passes, the other one needs perfect. Oh, it's really, really close. Maybe just a couple more yet. The way the mosaic program is supposed to work? No. Is that normally the way we do it? No. However, it's going to work. The end result will be perfect. Absolutely no lack of quality or anything along that line. So just took a little bit of creative work to get where we want to go, but it's going to be perfect when we get there. Number 12 is now officially together. There's glue places there shouldn't be. There's lots of sanding going to have to be done, but it's together and that's a good thing. Alright, so I got to cut the face for this one. So it has to get tapered to both sides and it has to fit perfect, so it fits here, here, and here. So I'm going to give that a shot here, see what we can come up with. Yeah, that'll work. So we just gotta wait for some clamps to get freed up and then we'll get that clamped on there. So we trim all these off instead of blowing it out, and then we use the little one to just trim up the corners and get them nice and neat. Then we putty everything, putty all of our joints, putty all of this, putty this joint here and all these, and then we'll finish sanding them up. Alright, so here comes one of the more tedious things. It's not really difficult, it just takes a little bit of judgment. It's kind of tedious. So we gotta sand all the cabinets. Are all trimmed, they're puttied. So now we putty all the joints. Everywhere there's a joint gets puttied. Whether or not you can see a crack, it doesn't matter. You just put putty on it, so we make sure that it's perfectly good. And then we'll sand it with 150, with the 5-inch 150. We'll grind the putty off, get it close, and get any major imperfections worked on. We're gonna sand the edges of our face frame, and then we're gonna hit this edge here to make sure that's not sharp, so that when it's all finished, that has a softer feel, not so sharp there. Then we'll sand it with 180. We'll get the rest of it, make sure all the putty's clean, it's all perfect. And then we sand it with 220 to get the final finish on it. When you're staining, it's very important that you use the same grit for all your final sanding. If you do one at 220 and another one at 180, your color will be different. So we'll get a final sanding of 220 on everything, and then we'll go back to the spray room and be ready to get stained and finished up. So the easy way to do it, we got 3 different sanders set up. We got a 150 there, we got our 180 there, and our 220 there. So you do one, do the next, and then it's ready to go. When you're sanding, you just want to make sure you hit all your corners so you don't have anything sharp. This one goes against another cabinet, so that one will stay sharp. We don't want to touch that at all. We want that as square as we can get it. So we'll get it all sanded up. Now you might say you've never seen this done in a cabinet before. Probably right. Most cabinet shops don't do that, but that's where we do it. So the face frames have all been run through the wide belt, so they're 220, but that's 220 on the machine. That's different than the random orbital. So we still sand them with 180, 220 random orbital, just to make sure it's all perfectly smooth. Get rid of any sander marks, any scratch marks, particularly in the cross grain here, because the wide belt it goes through this way. So these are running with the grain. These here it's sanding across the grain. So we'll make sure we get all that ground out too. If you do have a blemish you need to fix, say you got a spot here you need to work on, you can't just sit on that and grind on it, because you end up with a big dip or whatever. So if you do need to fix something, you got to blend it, keep going back and forth in a wider sweep. So if there is any kind of a dip, it's a very long sweep instead of just a hole right there. But there it is. It's all 220. Edges are nice and easy. They're not sharp. We're going to send her back to the spray room. Alright, so this cabinet's a little different. You saw me sand this side, and last time I said we didn't sand that side. Well, this is because this goes against the stove, sits on this beside this cabinet here, so we want to make that edge nice and not sharp. So when you slide the stove in, it doesn't scratch anything, obviously. And also, if there's a little bit of an ease on here, it's less likely to take a chip if they do hit it with the stove putting it in. And this here side, being it's exposed, we're going to put a round over on here. We'll stop it about here, and the same up there. So it's somewhat decorative because it has a cool little thing here, top and bottom. But it's also for damage protection, because the sharp edge will show damage a lot quicker, a lot more than what a rounded edge will. Throw that on there, we'll sand it up, and head back to the spray room. I had a little spot here that wasn't quite perfect, so just re-puttied it. We'll let it dry, sand it off again. Can't just do it once, not always just a process. You just gotta do what you gotta do until it's right.